Welcome back, my friends. So today we've got an update on the court case that Bandai Namco filed against AtGames, where AtGames has finally responded to some of these allegations. There's some interesting stuff here, so I want to talk about that today. If you're not up to date on this court case, I do have a couple videos out there. I have an article on my website with the court documents listed, so you could scrub through that. A lot of craziness, but essentially what it is Bandai is accusing AtGames of counterfeiting, copyright, trademark infringement, unfair competition, among several other things. This really stems from AtGames' acquisition of the Miss Pac-Man GCC rights. That's why they're pissed at them, is the way it seems to me. But also they did touch on the ridiculousness of AtGames kind of, making a product that they licensed, that Bandai licensed, the blast units, specifically the one we talked about on the channel, the Pac-Man one, where they sent out review units that had arcade ROMs and ran fairly well. And then in stores, they sold a different version of it that had NES ROMs that didn't even function or play properly. Tons of screen tearing, a lot of little issues. So that was also part of it. And that's one of the things that really got me annoyed with AtGames. Yes, disclaimer, I don't like AtGames. I think they're a very shady company, but hey, it is what it is. My stance is known. But I do want to take a look at their response today. So like I said, even with this document, I will have it listed on my website so you could scrub through it as well. This one is pretty long. I believe it's over 40 pages, somewhere around that. I'm not going to go through everything, but they do have a table of contents here that talks about a lot of different things, and we'll go through a few of these. Their pre-existing licensing relationships, Bandai giving AtGames permission to make a Miss Pac-Man dongle, and discussions that they had. So we'll talk about a few of these things, but the biggest thing is they're claiming that Bandai is retaliating against them. And I find that interesting because, yeah, it does seem that way. But, I mean, is there anything wrong with that? They don't like the way you're conducting business and Bandai doesn't want to work with you. Then hell, that's your damn fault, right? But they're looking at these reasons being why this case essentially is of no point. Like, why does this case exist? Why is Bandai filing this case against us? They're just trying to punish us. And I mean, it's hard to disagree with that sentiment, but like I said, at the same time, you kind of dug your own grave with these guys, like going around their back. But I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to hear what you guys feel about this stuff, but let's get into it. So they do have a table of authorities listed. I'm not going to go through this stuff. It's just different court cases that they reference that kind of has to play into their points, right? So they reference that throughout this document. And there's a ton of them, not just video game stuff, but just tons of other court cases that happened that they feel supports their position on this and why it doesn't make sense that the preliminary judgment or junction, should be just dismissed, that it shouldn't be granted. So here we go. The introduction. This case purports to involve allegations that the defendant AtGames is infringing intellectual property rights in Miss Pac-Man video game. So essentially what they're going on is saying that, hey, we never promoted that we're making a Miss Pac-Man product. We know that we have to have permission and license from Miss Pac-Man, and we sought that license, but we haven't done anything. They said that these prototypes, the little Miss Pac-Man arcade units that we seen in the previous video, that they sent one to the royalty right holder, Mr. Curran of GCC, in the hope that he would help AtGames attain the license from Bandai. So that's what they're stating, that, hey, he's not a consumer, that, he had the rights to this stuff and they were just seeking his help. So they sent him a prototype. That was all they were doing. They weren't sending stuff out to Walmart or GameStop saying, hey, look at this. Like, would you guys want to sell this? They're stating that that's not what they did. That any other evidence of this are just concepts and whatnot, and that they haven't sent that out to people. It's just depictions of what they're trying to work on or get licensed to. So they're saying it was impossible for Mr. Curran to be confused as the origin of the prototype, nor were any false or misleading statements made. The other prototypes made for internal testing and AtGames possession are not being shown or displayed to the public. Okay, all right. Given that AtGames currently is not making any use of Miss Pac-Man, it has repeatedly expressed its willingness to render the instant motion moot by stipulating that it will not use Miss Pac-Man unless it obtains a license from Bandai. Yet in a clear effort to hurt AtGames, Bandai rejected AtGames' offer and moved forward with this motion. Well, I mean, it was kind of already granted that you can't do anything without Bandai saying it was okay. So it doesn't make sense. Like, you couldn't just make this product. The rights from GCC were essentially like revenue rights. Like they would get paid for certain things that Bandai would either put out themselves or license elsewhere. So AtGames, like, Miss Pac-Man means nothing. Like, it just means that they would make revenue off of other products. And this is where things get interesting. So they're stating, why, if AtGames is not actually making or selling these products, has Bandai chosen to litigate and bring this instant motion? The answer is that Bandai is seeking to punish AtGames for entering into a contract with a third party, the above referenced GCC, that Bandai had hoped to secure for itself. So AtGames went behind their back. That's a given. We all know that. That's a fact. There's no debating that. AtGames went behind their back to grab this. So they're stating that Bandai's counsel admitted as much when it wrote to AtGames' counsel, and this is the message that they sent. It's in Exhibit A. I did pay for some of these exhibits, but they were all like, it's kind of weird when you pay for these documents. I paid for this as well, but when you pay for some of these documents, you just pay for them, and then you get the exhibit, and it's like, oh, this one was silenced, or I forget what it said, but it said it was sealed, like you can't see it. So it's like I paid for a freaking exhibit that just says it's sealed and not available. Why would you let me pay for it? It doesn't make any damn sense. But they do have some of this listed here. So this is the message that is in Exhibit A, which I suppose is the email communications between the two. So here we go. AtGames has the opportunity to preserve its current relationship and license agreements and potential future opportunities with Bandai, so long as AtGames complies with Bandai Namco's request that AtGames rescinds whatever offer it has proposed to GCC relative to assignment of the agreement between Bandai Namco and them, and refrains from any other efforts to interfere with the contractual relationship between Bandai Namco, and GCC successors. If that commitment is not forthcoming by close of business today, i.e., by 6 p.m. Pacific today, August 27, 2019, Bandai Namco will immediately terminate its current license agreements with AtGames and will permanently remove AtGames as a partner with which it conducts business. Fair enough. You're doing something we don't like, we ain't working with you unless you decide to do, what we're requesting. You don't have to, but this is the repercussions of you not doing this. You decide you're going to go along with this whole plan, then okay, we're not going to work with you anymore. Essentially what they're saying. Is that harsh? Yeah. But it's just the reality of things, man. Bandai Namco hopes that AtGames will make the decision to correct and preserve its relationship with Bandai Namco. And this is where it gets even more funny, because it's the truth. Like, it's already a given. Like, AtGames, you're stupid. You went behind their back to secure these rights, but these rights can't do anything. If you pissed off Bandai Namco, you're getting these royalty rights. Doesn't mean anything, because Bandai Namco is like, fuck you. Why? You guys are dumb, man. But whatever. Maybe there is some money involved. But Bandai Namco essentially has the ability to control all this. So it's just weird. I mean, we don't know everything that has to do with the GCC rights, but essentially it was royalty stuff. But here we go. In the meantime, to help AtGames make its decision, we take this opportunity to reiterate that should AtGames acquire GCC's interest in Miss Pac-Man pursuant to current agreement with GCC, Bandai Namco can ensure that AtGames' investment will be useless. Poof, you dumbasses. You're not going to be able to use this investment. You just waste monies. Dumbasses, right? That's what they're saying. I think that's funny. That is ballsy. Just like, hey, do what we ask, or guess what? You just spent money for nothing because we're not going to allow you to use it. It's not going to benefit you because, they control it. AtGames can be promised that continued actions will be taken by Bandai Namco to ensure that there is zero income stream delivered pursuant to that agreement. That is so freaking hilarious. It's fucked up. I mean, but it's hilarious. I find humor in this stuff. Sorry. Am I a dick for thinking that? No, not in my opinion. But if you want to call me a dick for thinking this way, that hell yeah, screw you. I'm okay. That's a good thing then. I'm a dick because screw AtGames. This has already been contemplated and decided by Bandai Namco, even prior to AtGames' involvement. Wow. So this was an email from D. May to J. Zhang attached as Exhibit A. Like I said, Exhibit A you can't look at for whatever reason. You could pay for the damn thing, but it's sealed. You can't see this email. Damn it. Whatever. So there's a lot more interesting stuff going on here. They talk about how their products have been very profitable to both companies, and why would Bandai not want to continue that type of thing? They talk about where they were working with Bandai to make a Miss Pac-Man Blast, and how that was going through approval processes, and now how they're pissed off that Bandai's just like, no, we're not doing this type of thing. What else they state here? The court should deny the requested preliminary injunction for several additional reasons, and they're just saying that they're unlikely to succeed on these claims, and this is why. So Bandai's Lanham Act and related business tort allegations fail because Bandai has presented no evidence of any consumer confusion, false statements, false advertisement, or unfair competition. You just got to use my video for that with the blast unit. Not for Miss Pac-Man, but for the Pac-Man crap that they did. Just use my freaking video. I was confused. What the hell's going on here? Right? And my follow-up videos. That's evidence right there. That's some kind of market confusion. That wasn't made recently. That was made, what, a year ago? Come on now. There's evidence there for at least that piece of it. There's definitely evidence. I'll testify. Bandai, I'm on your side. I don't know if I got time to, but hey, man, I'll be there. We'll do it, right? God, these guys, man. So they go on about the prototypes. They're talking about their lucrative licensing relationship where they put out these blast units and all that. They were developing that Miss Pac-Man one, like I said. So there's not much else to this. I mean, like I said, if you want to go through this whole thing, you could scrub through it on my website. There's still a lot more interesting stuff. I just don't want this to be an hour-long video, right? But yeah, that's where they're at. AtGames has responded. I believe this is supposed to see the judge November 14th. So we'll find out more. As long as this case is going on and I can get information concerning it, I'll continue reporting on it, letting you guys know my opinions, sharing the court documents with you guys. I'll have those posted on my website. Like I said, they do cost money, so I do appreciate you guys watching these videos, because that's how I can go ahead and get these things. But yeah, really do appreciate you guys. Check out the website. All the links will be in the description. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out. Bye-bye, and boom. Bye.